So, under these strange circumstances, this is how we're doing our speeches now. So, the reason my speech took so long to develop is because I was waiting to go fishing. I really wanted to do this speech out on the water, that way I could give a better view of what I actually wanted to talk about. But I'm not going to be able to do that, weather permitting, and my job is still actually operational, so I've been at work. So I haven't had the opportunity to actually go out and fish. The things I want to talk about today are flipping lures. So flipping up underneath trees and underneath docks and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about the types of lures that you can use, the reels, and then the actual rod itself that you want to try to use while flipping a lure. To start off with, the lures themselves. My personal favorite is from Reaction Innovations. It is called the Man-Bear Pig. And I like it so much because it has all these different tentacles. I really wish I could actually pass these out to you guys, because you'd be able to see all of these little arms that move and the tail that moves. And when it's in the water, all that dances and moves around, and it really attracts the fish's attention. It gives them something to go after, and it gives them something to really entice them into taking a bite. There's also Guggen Baits puts out a Bandito bug. It's another one of my favorites. These are actually one of my buddy's favorites, and he got me hooked on them. And I don't know what it is about the smell or the salt or whatever's in them, but they also have a whole bunch of arms to articulate, and they just stink. I really wish you guys could smell these, because they stink. And something about them the fish just love. So that's another one of my favorites right there. And then the last one that I like to throw around is another one from Reaction Innovations. It's called the Spicy Beaver, and it's just got two arms, but they really flop. They flop around nice and bold, and they've got these little pieces on the end. I don't know if you guys can actually see them. That's why another reason I wish I could pass these around to you guys. But they flop really hard, and it moves a lot of water. So if the fish are actually like buried down deep, they'll come out to get this, because it's moving so much water around. So that's my first thing, is the lures that you guys can throw around. If you want to use a creature style bait, something with a lot of arms, something with a lot of action to actually get those fish's attention, to get them to bite. The next thing I want to talk about is the reel. The reel is honestly one of the most important parts, because you're fishing from very close to the bank. Usually you want to do this from a boat. If you don't have access to a boat, you can do this off of the bank. It just makes it a little more difficult. With the reel, you want a high gear ratio. What that high gear ratio does is allow you to pitch in there, and then if they don't get it, reel it right back in. You have no issues. Pitch right back in. It allows you to reel that lure in very quickly back to the boat, so you can pitch right back into that spot. When you're flipping lures and you're flipping for fish, you're up close and personal with the fish. You aren't very far away, and you want to be in and out as fast as you can to get that strike in. So what I recommend, this one's a 7:5 to 1 gear ratio. There's an 8:1 to 1 that you can get in the same model. I prefer the 7:5 to 1 because I can also use this for crankbaits. It's a whole different style of fishing, but this reel allows you to do multiple things like that. So that's the reel that I wanted to talk about. It's my personal favorite. This is my favorite combo, actually. And the rod that it's on is my favorite. It's my Lew's Custom XP Speed Stick. It is a 7-foot rod. It is a very long rod. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is a very long rod. It allows me to pinpoint accurately flip a bait up into cover. What it does is it allows, basically it's an extension of my arm. It allows me to point and shoot exactly where I want to put that bait and exactly how I want to throw it. With a rod this long, you're able to be more accurate, and you're able to be more consistent on where you're putting a lure. And when you're fishing flipping style like this, where you're trying to put them right underneath trees, right underneath logs, up under stones, having that accuracy is a very big thing. And with a rod like this, where it's nice and long, you have that accuracy. You're not worried about miscast and all that kind of stuff. And if you do miscast with this reel, you're able to get it back to the boat quickly, and you're not having any problems getting back in there. So those are the three things I wanted to talk about from the different lures that you can throw. There's multiple different kinds. Those are just three that I actually really enjoy throwing. The reels that you can use, this is a Lew's Custom XP speed spool. Comes as a combo with this rod, and the rod is a Custom XP 7-footer. It's a medium heavy rod, which allows me to dig fish out of the timber if they're buried down in the twigs and sticks and rock piles. This rod has enough backbone to get them up out of there and catch those fish. So I know it's under crazy circumstances, and I really, really wish I could pass this stuff around to show you guys, because I think it would actually help you guys be able to see the difference in some of these things that I'm throwing and what these are really like in your hand, because this rod is super light. I honestly don't even realize that it's in my hand. It's that crazy light. So in conclusion, those are the lures, the reel, and the rod that I actually really enjoy throwing on a daily basis. If I'm out on the water, one of these is tied onto my rod. It is my all-time favorite way to fish, and it lands big fish all the time. Thank you guys. I really wish this was under better circumstances, but have a great day.